Personal Music Player. Item Number: SCP-624. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-624 is to be stored in Site-16's safe storage room and charged frequently by testing personnel. Testing is open to all Site-16 personnel with proper clearance. Personal access to SCP-624 is otherwise restricted. SCP-624 is not to be taken off of Site-16, unless in the event of an emergency. SCP-624 must be listened to through regular headphones before being played on regular speakers. SCP-624 is not to be played at Site-16's social functions for entertainment, due to containment protocol and possible risk of humiliation of Site-16 personnel. Audio created by SCP-624 is not to be sold commercially, nor shared through file-sharing networks. Addendum 624-1. Personnel who do not listen to music, do not like music, or have zero musical influences are not allowed to test SCP-624. See Test Log 624-1. Description: SCP-624 is a SanDisk Sansa E200R MP3 player and voice recorder. The back of the player says SCP-624 contains 2 GB of memory. Although the original owner's manual claims there are preloaded sample songs, there are no files stored within its memory when played on normal speakers. Uploading music to SCP-624 seems to be impossible, as every program tested, including iTunes, Rhapsody, and Yahoo Music, have all returned with encoding errors. When powering up SCP-624 through headphones, a tone will play, and this tone will be picked up through SCP-624's microphone. If SCP-624 does not detect the tone, it will shut down as if it were locked. If SCP-624 hears the tone from normal speakers, SCP-624 will power on normally, but contain no stored data. If SCP-624 detects the tone from a pair of headphones, SCP-624 automatically fills its library with 2 GB worth of music. The music, in question, is all written, produced, played, and sung by the wearer of the headphones, regardless of current musical talent. Each song comes with an appropriate album cover and the listener's artist's profile, which is factually incorrect, possibly based on an alternate timeline if the listener had become a full-time musician. When exposed to the musically inclined, SCP-624 will generate specific songs, or improve songs they may have already written. When exposed to test subjects with little to no musical experience, SCP-624 will generate music based on their favorite music influences, regardless if they like the generated music or not. These songs tend to be very consistent to the listener, but more songs are added based on musical influences. If space runs out when the listener is introduced to a new musical influence, the listener's least favorite songs are replaced. When shut down, the songs are subsequently deleted until SCP-624 is introduced to the listener once more. Once powered up through headphones, the listener may unplug his or her headphones and connect SCP-624 to normal speakers. The audio files themselves cannot be transferred, but can be dubbed onto a separate recording device. Test Log SCP-624-1. Subject: Subject D-256. Subject's favorite genre is grindcore music. Artist profile: Death, expletive redacted, began their rise to infamy after their deadly set at Hellfest 03, resulting in several injuries and 1 recorded death. Death, expletive redacted's lineup includes 2 drummers, 2 bassists, 3 rhythm guitarists, and 2 lead guitarists. Death Expletive Redacted's original lead singer, HR, committed suicide by gunshot wound on stage during their Expletive Redacted Tour 2000 blank. Music results. Music is extremely loud and very brutal, lasting between 5 to 45 seconds, resulting in more than 1,000 tracks. A common trend among these tracks are atonal noise, screaming, cursing, and sounds from movie clips. The lyrics mostly concern violence, rape, murder, data expunged. Subject was very pleased with the results and requested a personal copy of the created music. This request was denied. Subject comments. Expletive redacted, yeah! This is awesome! Subject. E-Class Personnel. EW. Subject's favorite genre is adult alternative, and has experience in playing guitar. Artist's profile. EW is one of today's biggest names in acoustic pop and soul, sharing the same bill with such names as John Mayer and Jack Johnson. EW began playing guitar at the age of 8, and continued on to other instruments such as piano, trumpet, and drums. EW also starred in Disney's High School Musical series, competing with Summerlin star Zac Efron for the role of Troy. Music results. Music is very relaxed and modern sounding. Lyrics mostly concern romance and recreational activities. Subject stated multiple songs were originally written by him, but were all of much higher quality, both in writing, performance, and recording quality. Subject was surprised and initially very happy, but later saddened by the test results. Subject comments. God, I wish I could sing like that. Subject. Level 2 Security, Agent E. Subject does not normally listen to music, but would like to hear the results. Artist profile. DE Unknown Artist 00000. Music results. Music consisted of 72 tracks, all labeled by number. Each track contains a condensed autobiography of the subject by year, narrated by the subject himself in a clear, theatrical voice. Personnel initially questioned the accuracy of the autobiography due to the inaccuracies of the previous tests, but track number blank confirmed its accuracy when the narrator referred to this very test, stating that the subject will leave the room when they begin playing track 72. The subject became distraught by the remaining biography as data expunged, and subsequently left the testing room by track 71. 2/3 through the final track, the narrator begins to scream as data expunged, presumably killing him. The sounds of redacted and inhuman cackling are heard for the remainder for the track. Subject comments. I never want to know what happens to me on that final track. I know you said you're going to tell me, but please, don't tell me. Subject. E-Class Personnel, LP. It should be of note that LP, while aware of music, does not like or listen to music. Artist's profile. LP does not think highly of herself. She thinks she is ugly and alone. She has frequent thoughts of suicide in between lusting after names redacted. LP doesn't know why she gets up in the morning. Music results. The playlist did not consist of music, but a list of blank names from Site-16 personnel. When played, the subject's voice would state her deepest opinions on the track's staff member. Despite protests from the subject, testing personnel played every track in order to find any discrepancies. Subject was visibly angry. Subject comments. Turn it off! I said turn it off! Subject. Subject D258. It should be of note that Subject D258 does not listen to music. When questioned, Subject D258 could not name one genre or band, stating all music is noise. Artist's profile. Blank was born on blank 19 blank to blank and blank. Blank went to the following schools. Data expunged. Blank was eventually convicted of data expunged. He was later recruited by an organization known as the SCP Foundation to test one of their many strange relics. Blank committed suicide shortly after this test. Music results. Music consisted of one track of unknown bitrate and quality, exceeding several days, possibly years, worth of time, squeezed into exactly 2 gigabytes. When played, data expunged. Data expunged had no effect on listening personnel, but sent Subject D258 into a state of shock. Subject D258 committed suicide via blunt force trauma to the head. When fast-forwarded to the end of the track vaguely sounds like Subject D258 being transferred to Site-16, with what sounds like D258's thoughts in the background, mostly violent and insulting thoughts towards the staff, turning to horror upon hearing SCP-264. After Subject D-258's suicide, the track continues playing past its runtime and cuts to data expunged. It is unknown how much longer the track continues, as all personnel present quickly fled the testing room and demanded testing be ceased immediately. Personnel present to data expunged were reported visibly shaken for days. Subject comments. No official statement was given. Subject D-258's last words were, "My soul is on this machine!" Note: active testing ceased on SCP-624. For freelance testing by personnel, see Test Log 624-2. Dr. Z. Experiment Log 624. Note: this is a test log of SCP-624 by Site Blank personnel and visiting staff to scope SCP-624's abilities. Please remember that SCP-624 is not a toy, and that you must do these tests at your own risk. Dr. Z. Warning: personnel who do not listen to music, do not like music, or have zero musical influences are not allowed to test SCP-624. Note 2. I said it before and I'll say it again. SCP-624 is not a toy. You may use it for testing, but if you want to hear yourself become a famous musician, go take some music lessons. Our job is to seek out the range of SCP-624's abilities. As of August 31st, 2016, this test log is for anomalous test results only. To see the control tests, refer to test log SCP-624-1. Dr. D. Level 4 Security. Instructions for testing SCP-624. Charge SCP-624 from a computer or 30-pin personal MP3 player charger. An iPod-only 30-pin charger will not work. Hook up a pair of headphones to SCP-624 and power it on. Earbuds, noise cancellation headphones, and speakers will not work. Record your findings in the following format. Subject: Artist Profile. Music Results. Subject Comments. Press the black button twice after playing a song to see the artist's profile. Report the generated music style and genre, if it has a genre. Once finished, include a short blurb of your/the subject's experience in the comments section. Subject: Dr. D. Level 4 Security. Subject did not profess his favorite music. Artist Profile. MD did not invent the fart joke, but he certainly improved on it. Associated with such names as Adam Sandler and Bill Hicks, MD has been featured on such shows as Saturday Night Live and Mad TV for his talents in stand-up and comic song. MD wrote and directed the 2000 blank summer flop Redacted movie, unanimously rated as the worst movie of all time. Music Results. Mostly lowbrow stand-up and lewd acoustic guitar songs. Most tracks concern typical family problems, bodily functions, sex, and politics. Subject was visibly angry at the results. Subject comments: not funny. Note: it seems SCP-624 isn't limited to specific genres of music, but the scope of the listener's imagination. Again, I'm to remind all Site Blank personnel that all access to SCP-624 is strictly for experimental purposes only, and that SCP-624 is not to be played in the Site Blank break room. For now. Dr. Z. Note: Dr. Z, I think you mean is not to be played in the Site Blank break room ever, and under the penalty of demotion if you do. Dr. D. Level 4 Security. Subject: Agent E. It should be of note that Agent E partook in the original test of SCP-624, and has since gotten into rap music. Artist's Profile. East Coast and West Coast collide, forming E-Dizzle. E-Dizzle is the first rapper to not only tour with Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls, but united the now duo for their first tour in 2002. E-Dizzle helped discover and produce for rapper Eminem. Much mystery surrounded E-Dizzle's death in 2000 blank, but his legacy still lives on. Music Results. Music consisted of a strange new form of rap, listed under the genre Hybrid Coast, mixing West Coast funk synths and East Coast orchestras. 208 of the 406 tracks contain guest rappers, most of whom are rivals or dead in this timeline. Subject initially pleased with results, only to learn the date of his death is the same from the previous test. Subject comments. Seriously, if you guys could just let me take this outside and blast this over my car speaker. Hold on. What year did that artist profile thing say? Subject then proceeded to repeatedly scream about the year. Testing ceased shortly after. Subject. Dr. L. Subject claims to like orchestral music, but says she prefers audiobooks. Artist's profile. Pulitzer and Nobel Prize winner Haley L. is one of the most prolific novelists of the 21st century, having written 40 novels in 20 years, roughly 2 novels a year. Mrs. L is well renowned for her fiction writing seminars, drawing students from all over the world. Much controversy surrounds Mrs. L's strange autobiography, released only in audio format. Music results. The results were not music, but a chronological list of audiobooks, all read by the subject. The genres of each audiobook don't seem to follow any sort of pattern. The first book, Seasons of Longing, is a historical romance that slowly gains fantasy/time travel elements as it goes on. The next novel, Hills of Glory, is a war story that switches to supernatural horror halfway through. The stories of these audiobooks are captivating according to the listening researchers, and continue increasing in quality as they go on, culminating in the second-to-last track, All This Time, a family epic with supernatural elements. The final track, Unknown Track 00000, starts out as a straightforward autobiography of the writer. The narrator begins by talking about her home life, how she picked up writing, and how she wrote her first novel. But then the narrator begins berating the subject for not making the same choice, growing increasingly angrier and louder. All attempts to turn down the volume do nothing to quiet the narrator's screaming and insults. SCP-624 was disconnected from the speakers, shut off, and testing ceased. Subject comments. Subject had no official comment. Subject requested temporary leave from the Foundation. The request was denied. Subject requested Class A amnestics. This request was also denied. Subject. Technician en mission. Musical preference include traditional Chinese and Tibetan music, folk rock, world beat, and reggae. Artist's profile. Amy Song, or en mission, is the latest A-pop sensation to explode onto the international scene. Her upbeat lyrics, infectious beats, sparkling melodies, and perky stage presence are sweeping the pop world. An up-and-coming idol not to be missed. Music results. 4 albums worth of cookie-cutter A-pop music, bouncy and upbeat, with catchy pop hooks and high-pitched girly vocals. Mostly musings on love and relationships, descriptions of activities with friends, and 1 album of music for an animated harem comedy series. Subject comments. Oh, expletive redacted. No, if I ever end up doing any expletive redacted thing anywhere, expletive redacted. Close to that, just expletive redacted. Feed me to 682. Expletive redacted. Note. This just makes me wonder how SCP-624 determines the music the user potentially creates, especially if it clashes with their personality. Dr. Z. Subject. D861. Subject is deaf and cannot hear. Artist profile. Name redacted. Listen. Music results. A series of tracks with names like 0 Hz to 10 kHz, 10 kHz to 10 GHz, and most peculiarly, redacted. Selecting any of the tracks resulted in a loud feedback noise that made everyone but Subject D861 cover their ears. Testing personnel proceeded to listen through the headphones. Audio was a sharp, tinny version of the noises within the room. When Subject D861 put the headphones on, he was visibly stunned and began shouting how he could hear for the first time. Subject D861 proceeded to converse with the other staff, finally able to hear his own voice and the voices of those around him. Subject was then asked to listen to the other tracks. The track 10 kHz to 10 GHz sent the subject into a state of brief shock, but would not describe what he was hearing. He quickly switched back to 0 Hz to 10 kHz. Other tracks carried other anomalies. tracks that could hear everything in other languages, that cancelled out reverb, that censored foul language, and more. Finally, Subject D861 listened to Redacted. Subject shows no reaction at first, but gradually begins screaming at what he hears, throwing the headphones off. Subject comments. According to his interpreter, Subject D861's last words were, "So many voices, and they finally heard us."